History holds the answers, or does it? From forgotten maps to ancient secrets buried in plain sight, the world's greatest mysteries remain unsolved, and the truth lies hidden, waiting for you to uncover it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Histories, Mysteries, and Conspiracies. Season 2, Unraveling the Unknown. Where the past isn't just a story, it's a puzzle. Are you ready to piece it together? Not only is the universe stranger than we imagine, it is stranger than we can imagine. J.B.S. Haldane. The Electric Universe, Part 1. Forbidden Force. The Spark. What if everything you've been taught about the universe is wrong? What if stars aren't nuclear furnaces, but glowing anodes in a galactic electric circuit? What if comets aren't dirty snowballs, but charged projectiles? And craters aren't from collisions, but cosmic lightning bolts? And what if the very forces shaping the cosmos, from the birth of galaxies to the scars on Earth, are not gravity, but electricity? From ancient myths of thunder gods and sky battles, to modern plasma labs that mimic galactic formations, a controversial idea is surging through the cracks of mainstream science. Dismissed by conventional astrophysics, ignored by textbooks, but undeniable in its patterns. Is the universe electric? Were ancient cultures recording cosmic plasma events? And what don't they want us to know about the power that flows through everything? The circuit. The origin story is traced back to the 19th and 20th centuries with the discovery of electromagnetism and its implications for understanding plasma, the dominant state of matter in the universe. The groundwork for this theory began in the 19th century by the work of Hans Christian Ørsted, James Clerk Maxwell, and Michael Faraday. Hans Christian Ørsted discovered that electric currents create magnetic fields. Today, this phenomenon is known as Ørsted's law. James Clerk Maxwell is most widely known for his theory of electromagnetism, which proved that light was electromagnetic radiation. This theory paved the way for both quantum mechanics and Einstein's theory of special relativity. Michael Faraday's work on electromagnetism influenced the emergence of the electric universe theory, particularly through his discoveries in the principles of electromagnetic induction, lines of force, and field theory, and the unity of forces. In essence, Faraday's pioneering work on electromagnetism provided the foundational concepts and experimental evidence that inspired the development of the electric universe theory, and its emphasis on the role of electrical currents and plasma in shaping the cosmos. A Norwegian scientist, Christian Birkeland, is recognized for his pioneering work on space physics, but most particularly in his theories about the aurora borealis and his early understanding of plasma in space. He is credited with predicting the existence of field-aligned electric currents, now known as Birkeland currents, and their role in auroral displays. His work also laid the foundation for understanding the interaction of the solar wind with Earth's magnetic field and atmosphere. Immanuel Velikovsky, a psychoanalyst and writer, proposed that mythological accounts of celestial events can be interpreted as literal descriptions of past planetary interactions, including near collisions and comet-like behavior of planets. He linked these myths to electromagnetic forces, a concept later embraced by the electric universe theory. Nikola Tesla posited the idea that electricity and energy were responsible for almost all cosmic phenomena. Tesla saw energy and electricity as an incompressible fluid of constant quantity that could neither be destroyed nor created. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Nikola Tesla. Hannes Alfvén, a Swedish plasma physicist, proposed that if the universe is filled with plasma, electric currents could be a major force in shaping the galaxies. It is important to note that it is estimated that plasma makes up 99% of the visible matter in the universe. Ralph Jurgens, a civil engineer, developed a theory that suggests that the sun and stars are electrically powered, contrary to the standard model that the sun is powered by nuclear fusion. None of these early pioneers by themselves fully developed the electric universe model. However, with the groundwork laid by these scientific pioneers and echoed in myth across cultures, a bold new vision of the universe emerged: the thunder in the sky. While gravity-centric models became gospel in academic circles, a quieter current ran underneath, literally. One that suggested we'd misunderstood the forces that truly sculpt the stars. The theory is not attributed to a single creator, but rather developed through the work of several individuals, including Wallace Thornhill and David Talbot, who founded the Thunderbolts project. The electric universe, EU theory, proposes that electromagnetism, rather than gravity, is the primary force shaping the universe, particularly in cosmic structures like galaxies. It suggests that electromagnetic forces are dominant in the universe, influencing everything from the formation of stars and galaxies to the structure of planets and even geological formations on Earth. This theory suggests that stars are not formed through gravitational collapse, but rather through the focusing of electric currents in space. These currents are believed to power stars and create the conditions for fusion to occur. It emphasizes that plasma, ionized gas, in shaping the universe. It suggests that plasma filaments and discharges can explain the formation of galaxies, galaxy clusters, and other large-scale structures. It offers alternative explanations for various astronomical observations, including solar flares, planetary magnetospheres, and galaxy formation, suggesting they are driven by electrical forces rather than gravity or nuclear reactions. It theorizes that galaxies form through the interaction of electrical currents and plasma, rather than through the merging of smaller galaxies as suggested by the standard model. The electric universe theory rejects the Big Bang theory and the idea of an expanding universe. It proposes that the universe is not expanding and that the cosmic microwave background can be explained through other mechanisms. The main focus of this theory is on observable phenomena and laboratory experiments, rather than relying solely on theoretical models. The theory looks at the atom, which is the basic unit of a chemical element. It consists of tiny subatomic particles, including protons, neutrons, and electrons. Atoms are surrounded by at least one negative electron. Electrons are like non-committal partners. They can easily separate from their host atoms. When electrons are emitted, all sorts of things can happen. For example, the aurora borealis, northern lights, is born from these currents, forming multicolored sheets to burst across the sky. These bursts and sheets are forms of plasma filaments. The theory proposes that plasma is the most common of the four fundamental states of matter. The other big players are solids, liquids, and gases. Plasma is formed when ionized gases become electrically conductive, meaning that electrical current, electricity, can flow through them. Fire and lightning are forms of plasma. It's in this way the stars and galaxies get their power. Currents flow into stars and power them like light bulbs. They can also induce the births of planets. You can see the remnants of these energy infusions in the form of craters throughout our galaxy. As charged particles move around and throughout plasma, rings of magnetic fields can form around the electric current. This is called a plasma filament. Interconnected and perfectly woven, these filaments stretch across billions of light years, creating the silent equilibrium inherent in the physical universe. When current flows through plasma filaments, it generates colorful tendrils of light. Myths, once seen as metaphor, may, in fact, be memories. Records of plasma displays that scarred the skies and inspired legends. While the theory sounds intriguing and seems to have some validity, the mainstream scientific community rejects the theory. The critics charge. Why is a theory backed by observation and experiment dismissed so easily? Is it because it challenges the priesthood of physics, the untouchable orthodoxy guarded by institutions, careers, and billion-dollar budgets. The main criticism towards the electric universe theory is that its reliance on unproven claims, its contradiction of well-established scientific laws, and its reliance on evidence not yet accepted by mainstream frameworks to support its claims. Also, Einstein is classified as a genius and regarded as a godlike figure within the scientific community. His theory on special relativity is often challenged and has never been contested. It suggests that stars are powered by electrical currents flowing into them, rather than by nuclear fusion, a process that is well supported by decades of scientific observation and research. While acknowledging the existence of gravity, the theory argues that electromagnetism is a much stronger force and that it plays a dominant role in shaping celestial structures. This contrasts with the current understanding where gravity is the primary force governing large-scale structure formation. The rejection of the Big Bang model, which is the prevailing cosmological model explaining the universe's origin and evolution. Critics argue that the electric universe model lacks the observational support that the Big Bang theory enjoys. Critics often argue that proponents of the electric universe often misinterpret or selectively use scientific data to support their claims, rather than building a theory based on a comprehensive understanding of the data. Some proponents point to unexplained phenomena or anomalies as evidence for their theory, but these anomalies may have alternative, more conventional explanations. The electric universe theory also has not gained traction within the mainstream scientific community, and very few papers supporting it have appeared in peer-reviewed scientific journals. Why is the theory not challenged by the mainstream whom argues against it? Reverse polarity. The biggest roadblock in challenging the mainstream scientific community comes from the scientists themselves, who may be hesitant to abandon ideas that contradict established paradigms, especially if they've dedicated their careers to them. Pressure to conform to the prevailing consensus can discourage empirical challenges to established conclusions, potentially leading to a false sense of unanimity. Paradigm shifts involve not just new information, but also a shift in the way scientists think about and interpret evidence, making it difficult to bridge the conceptual gap between old and new ideas. Political and social pressures have a tendency to discourage scientific inquiry and even push false narratives. Why doesn't the mainstream truly engage with or seriously challenge this theory? And then a genius from beyond the grave believes that maybe the mainstream scientific community may be gatekeeping the knowledge to be expanded upon. Tesla enlightening. Nikola Tesla invented the plasma ball by experimenting with electric currents in vacuum tubes. As such, many refer to the center ball as a Tesla coil. Tesla believed that electricity powered the universe and could power our physical and eternal realities. On July 11, 1935, the NY Times quoted Tesla, "The relativity theory is much older than its present proponents. It was advanced over 200 years ago by my illustrious countryman Boscovich, the great philosopher who, notwithstanding other and multifold obligations, wrote 1,000 volumes on a variety of subjects. Boscovich dealt with relativity, including the so-called time-space continuum." Tesla went on to say this about Einstein's theories. "Magnificent mathematical garb which fascinates, dazzles, and makes people blind to the underlying errors. The theory is like a beggar clothed in purple whom ignorant people take for a king. Its exponents are brilliant men, but they are metaphysicists, not scientists." Static. It is also relevant. Governments and iconic business leaders have always been nervous around innovation, and they've stifled it for the darkest of reasons. J.P. Morgan put an end to Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower in fear that its resulting wireless energy technology would interfere with the growth and profits from the companies that Morgan financed, including General Electric. J. Edgar Hoover seized Tesla's work upon the death of the unsung hero, fearing it might inspire a revolution in the country's energy and economic infrastructures, putting power, profit, and influence in the hands of citizens instead of corporate entities. It is important to note that John G. Trump, an electrical engineer with the National Defense Research Committee of the Office of Scientific Development, was called in the Analyze the Papers. His Tesla's thoughts and efforts during at least the past 15 years were primarily of a speculative, philosophical, and somewhat promotional character, often concerned with the production and wireless transmission of power, but did not include new, sound, workable principles or methods for realizing such results. Dr. John G. Trump. Dr. John G. Trump is the President of the United States' paternal uncle. Hundreds of patents were classified by the U.S. government over the past 50 years, which can easily be attributed to the notion that governments do not want people to be empowered. They want people to be reliant. Regardless of its limitations and imperfections, Tesla's work and the suppositions surrounding the electric universe are compelling and can potentially lead to profound shifts in our thinking and forthcoming technological advances. The pursuit of life-enhancing technologies and disproving or proving the electric universe theories might be that today's scientists are more concerned with algorithms than experiments. It's important to keep in mind that equations do not create or prove realities. They propose and support imaginary ones. Science should never be classified as solved or settled because the moment we stop asking questions is the moment the current dies. If the universe is electric, what else have we misunderstood? In Part 2, we follow the current, from myth to megalith, from the sky gods to the scars on Earth, and explore how ancient people may have witnessed the plasma of creation itself. Bravo. Select an option for more.